Thank you, Simon, for your insights on digital infrastructure and the importance of machine learning, applications, data, and resources for teams to improve productivity and drive impactful innovation. Chin Hong will now join him with fellow business leaders, Mr. Ben Chong, Regional IT Director, North Asia, and Chief Information Officer, Singapore at ISS Facilities Services, as well as Mr. Abhishek Singh, Chief Digital Officer of Royal Golden Eagle Private Limited, and Mr. Gyok Xiong Wah, Director, E-Invoice Project Office of IMDA, to discuss how businesses today need to enable ongoing innovation to remain competitive in the new digital first world and business considerations for driving innovation. If you have any questions for the panelists, please post your questions on the chat box. Our subject matter experts are online now, and we will address your questions. Now, let's invite Chin Hong, Simon, Ben, Abhishek, and Xiong Wah on stage.
Welcome to our roundtable discussion today on how automation fuels innovation. We have discussed how businesses today need to enable ongoing innovation in order to remain competitive in the new digital-first world. We have also identified that there are a number of variables required to fuel innovation. So I'm joined here today by an esteemed panel of gentlemen. I'd like to start, Abhishek, with you first. Could you tell us a little bit about RGE, the company you're from, what it does, and where automations drive value in your organization?
Hi, Simon. So I'm the Chief Digital Officer of RGE. RGE is a conglomerate which specializes in various businesses, including print and paper. And that's where we share common grounds with FujiFilm. And in print and paper business, as you can imagine, it's a very manufacturing intensive business. So digitization brings about Industry 4.0, smart factory and connected factory kind of applications. That's probably the primary area of focus for us in automation. But then we also have a large area of procurement which is undergoing tremendous automation.
Right, thanks Abhishek. That was an interesting introduction. Ben, I'm going to come to you next. You're with ISS Facilities Management.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about who they are and
Sure.
how automation drives your business?
Right. ISS is a leading provider for integrated facility management service. Right. We started, the company was founded in Copenhagen, Denmark in 1901. Right. This year we celebrate our 120th anniversary in April this year. Right. So the company started off offering watchmen to local business community. And through expansion and development, we now offer core services like cleaning, mechanical and engineering, workplace, food services as well. We have nearly about 400,000 employees, right, across the countries in Europe, Asia, North and Latin America, as well as Pacific, right? And that's who we are in ISS. Hi, Simon. Just come back to your part of the question. What are the key innovation challenge, right? In ISS, for me, or as well as the rest of the member in ISS, I felt that we actually lack of a common and proper innovation strategy. So we lack of a common approach to our innovation strategy, and lack of collaboration and sharing, right? Resulting we risk of losing out on a successful innovation strategy. And I think innovation is actually a key ingredient in getting companies to remain competitive, right? So in late 2020, we actually launched a new strategy to deepen our leadership, and drive business across the functions, getting us closer to the country. All right, we are very grateful that we got ourselves a full-time Chief Information Digital Officer to help us to drive our digital transformation journey, right? And I believe this will help us to come to a common innovation strategy for ISS.
No, absolutely. I think IDC has seen over the years that in the digital transformation arena that it's good to have silos of innovation if they're focused on a common strategy. So innovation happens across the organization, but you've all got to have that same single goal. So it's great to hear that such an old organization as yours is moving very, very much faster into the new way of embracing new things to do. Thank you. So, Xianghua, could you share with us what IMDA is doing at a national level to support organizations in this aspect of automation, which in turn leads to innovation?
Thank you, Simon. For IMDA, we obviously will be looking at this at a different level, at the national level. Innovation is given already, we know that. And automation actually is an old term. It's not new, but there are a lot of new tools today for automation. But the way we are looking at things here, we see automation can easily be done where within an organization, within the systems where you actually have tools to, like, for example, RPA, to automate things and take away the manual intervention. But for us, we would like to see how you use data to augment automation. But we also understand data, as we all know it, data is the new oil. Yeah, and we know oil has to flow. So we know that in automation, if you are unable to tap on data, your automation will be limited. So one of the important things we are trying to do is to encourage data flow, not just within an organization, but data flow from organization to organization. So that you can then see information flowing from one system right to the other end. So in my day job in IMDA, I run the project office for e-invoicing, and the vision is to try to encourage data flow from your accounting solution to his accounting solution, so that you enter the information once and you'll go to the other side. So in doing so, it will just bring a different dimension to innovation, where in the past you can't do it. So we have other initiatives as well in IMDA that encourages this data flow, and building a nationwide network so that we can see how this information can flow from one to another, so that we can all take advantage of the information around us. So that is what we are doing.
That's fascinating. So information flow, automating that flow, securing that flow to just basically make the country more efficient than it has been in the past. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Okay, Ching Hong, to you now. Could you share with us a little bit more about how you are helping your customers to create the right working environment for innovation?
Thank you again, Simon, for that question. Thank you. And Fujifilm Business Innovations, we believe in automation in all our processes, internally processes, right? From printing of documents to now we do what I call e-invoices. It's all about data flow, right? And why we do e-invoices that we send to customers, then they pay us e-payment as well. And we use what I call the Pepper Gateway to help us enable this innovation to go through with our customers. And we do support the national policy of what I call data flow across organizations. The other thing about business innovations we have been looking at is actually look at paper to digital document. But digital document itself is just a document. What is most important are the data that resides in that document. So we are innovating using artificial intelligence, machine learning, the right algorithm to pull data from those documents and then make the data that is actionable, data that you can access, data that is multi-talented, and of course, data that can be shared across companies and organizations. And especially today, where many of our workers are working in a hybrid environment, sharing of documents, sharing of data across different sites, different work environment, helps automate the processes and also helps what I call the company improve productivity and efficiency.
Yeah, I think the ability to simply take something from the physical world and translate it to the digital world has been there for a while. But to pull the data out and then to be able to use that data on top of that, that's a fascinating area in which you're heading. I think that's great. I look forward to being able to make use of that at some point in the future. Okay, Abhishek, over to you. How important is document automation within your environment?
No, I think extremely important, Simon. Extremely important. And like what Seonghwa said earlier as well about the whole space of e-invoicing and everything, tying that back to what I was saying earlier about the procurement part of things, I think document management really is at the core of all business automation. Especially when it comes to engagement with external parties, whether it's your customers or whether it's your suppliers. Because I think, as we all know, in business relationships, there's always this lead time which goes into waiting, right? Whether it's for payment 30 days, 50 days, 2 months kind of a terms, or whether it's in terms of participation in RFPs and then receiving the bids and everything. And then you have to spend so much time processing those documents. So I think document management is absolutely critical for inter-company business relationships. For within the company, of course, I think with the use of emails and there's a certain amount of trust among the employees, probably we can still get by. But when it comes to inter-company, absolutely critical.
No, absolutely. The ability for the document flow to ease the relationship and to help build the trust. But a foundation of trust has to be in place in the first place to build upon, I'm sure. That's great insight. Ben, in your world, what would be the main challenge around workflow automation, and how can Fujifilm potentially help you?
Right. Workflow automation, as master, is up to the top of the to-do list in most organizations, in almost every industry. Right. Implementing a successful automation strategy is not just so simple. You know, just like a business strategy, you just cannot just jump in and then expect instant result. You know, you need to have a workforce that has a very knowledgeable base. I give you an example. In India, we took about 6 months to really change the mindset of the employee, the use of technology. You know, so in that sense, you know, empowering and as well as educating the employee about the technology values and purpose should be part of the top of the to-do priority list. Right. And in our world, IT resources are scarce, you know, and then also because of this, you know, choosing a reliable and credible, experienced industrial partner really play a very important role in our workplace strategy. In that case, I think today we are very happy that Fujifilm business is actually helping us in this area to look at some of the digitalization processes in our HR workforce management process. They are doing a very fantastic job. I'd like to thank Chin Hong in this forum.
Excellent. It's good to hear that we're getting also outside of procurement, no disrespect intended, but HR also benefiting and also working with employees. I mean, that's a critical part we've always got to think about, is how the technology touches the people and how we embrace and educate and re-educate. Great. Okay, Seonghwa, to you. When we talk about data management and data flow, how does Fujifilm fit into your plans here?
Definitely. When we launch a nationwide initiative, a lot an ecosystem in the country, there are many players involved. Our service providers out there are getting new businesses to do new projects, and Fuji Xerox also can benefit from it. In fact, actually, Fuji Xerox took a step forward to be one of the early adopters for invoicing, like what, thanks to Chin Hong and the team. We've been working with the team very closely for the last couple of years. Not that long, sorry, last 1-2 years. And the unique thing about Fuji Xerox is that as a company, Fujifilm, I forgot the new name now, is that Fujifilm sends out a lot of invoices to tens of thousands of businesses a month. So by automating the invoicing, they are able to shave the time to get payment faster. So that's the internal benefit to automation. So and at the same time demonstrate that this is possible. The benefit can be realized to the larger businesses out there. And I also understand that Fujifilm also have got a service arm. Understanding early how to do this, can also offer such services to their partners, to others who wish to embark in this journey, to come on board. But actually what's more important, I find, that is that as a big, what you call a big biller, when you issue an invoice in a structured data form to a counterparty, which is your customer out there, you are, what a lot of people don't understand and did not realize is that you are actually assisting the other party by giving them clean data, so automation can happen on the other end. And that's what we are trying to do. Data flow to the other end. And a lot of companies, when they go to this, on this journey, they think about the benefit that they get. But they forget that they actually, by giving really clean data on the other end, they can help the other party automate. And that's the important thing that needs to be recognized.
Sure. So the importance of creating clean data as you send it out so that your third party, your business partner can process that data in an acceptable, trusted, integral manner. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And that obviously helps efficiency and leads to an opportunity to innovate. Oh, it's exciting times. Ching Hong, you've undergone some significant changes in the past 12 months, including a change of name by the sound of things. Could you tell us about these changes and how Fujifilm managed to support customer innovation demands during these times?
Thank you, Simon. It is very interesting because Xianghua said that we were Fuji Xerox. And yes, we have 40 over years of experience of printing what I call data into paper. And then we transformed to paper transformation of digital document. And then, of course, document management across the organizations. But as we are starting to innovate with our customers, it is interesting to see that document is where data is. So we are working with some customers, very interesting, where they have documents, can be structured or unstructured data. So it could be a form, it could be an email, it could be through a WhatsApp, it could be even certain format like marriage certificate or medical claims, different ways or templates it is. So what we can do is that we can marry all these different documents, capture the data through ML, right? And then this data will then put into a what I call container. So if let's say it's a data about me, Ching Hong, in a marriage cert, in a what I call insurance certificate or whatever it is, they could pick up everything about me. And so through a process, let's say a claim process, they can say Ching Hong is this, he's how old, he has this medical issue, and whether the claims can be processed easily. So we are capturing no more documents, we are capturing data that is vital to me and to the company using it. And then they can share it from, let's say, if it's an insurance company with a medical company, with the company that what I call that is taking care of me as an employer. And this is the power of data. And we talk about big data, it's about data in different format coming together, making it accessible, making it secure, and then making it what I call shared across platforms. This is where we are innovating with many of our customers.
Exciting times. And it's good the fact that, you know, I think the early days of technology, there were lots of jobs for data input clerk. No longer required, right? We've gone past that, and now you're pulling the data off those documents and being able to share, which is a great advancement that we're all looking forward to. Abhishek, can you share how you shape things internally through automation? And what would be your next plans?
Sure, Simon. So I think automation is now finding its way in all aspects of operations. Like I mentioned earlier, we are of course a manufacturing company, so we have a lot of mills and factories, and there's a different kind of automation happening there. But with respect to document management, the two key areas which we are in the process of automating and we would be following up with our plans in the next couple of years is, one is of course procurement, and the other one is, like what Ben mentioned, HR, which is employee engagement and employee productivity. So talking about procurement, I think that's where we have a little bit of a lead. We started a couple of years back, and we've done a lot of automation in terms of engaging with our suppliers. So right from creation of portals for suppliers to log in and participate online into our tenders and submitting their bids online, all the way up to e-invoicing, for example, is the automation which we are doing in the procurement space. Following up with this kind of automation, it goes back to what Ching Hong was mentioning earlier. we mine all this data to do the spend analytics, to do procurement analytics. So I think that's probably the procurement life cycle, which the entire value chain of procurement, we are in the midst of automating. Some parts we've automated, like creation of the supplier portal, some part of procurement analytics, some part of e-invoicing. But there's a lot of more work to be done. So I think we'll be at it for another couple of years at least. Talking about employee productivity and HR processes, I think that's another big area where, of course, things like employee contracts and your medical claims from employees and a track record of the employees' educational history and all that needs to be digitized as well. So we've gone into some cloud-based solutions for our HR management, our claims processes. The last bit of automation we are doing there is really what Ching Hong mentioned, which is how do you take images, which are so-called photographs of receipts and claims, and how do you translate that into automated claims? So we've kind of got the back end in place now. I think the last mile there would be for us to get the front end, which we can share with the employees, and then the employees can submit the claims in an automated fashion as well. So I think that those two are the major areas which we are working on for the last couple of years, and they'll also keep us busy for the next couple of years with respect to automation.
Yeah, absolutely. And if my experience is anything to go by, as you dive into those analytics, you'll discover a whole bunch of information that helps you innovate more in that whole environment. So exciting times indeed for you. Ben, your industry is experiencing more workflow automation. What are the areas that interest you in this space, and what's the future state of the industry going to look like?
Right. As building age with time, more efforts is needed to upkeep the assets. This challenge also compounded by our aging population. Hence, in the 2018, the International Facility Management Association Singapore chapter partnered with Iss to actually develop a consortium of operation and technical roadmap for the entire FM community to future-proof them. And this effort was actually supported by BCA, IMDA, right, and also Association of Property and Facility Managers and Strata Managers. Right. This roadmap actually outlined more than 50 technology and solutions, right, to support the community, prioritize them from 2018 to 2027. Right. In the short term, FM companies are actually required to equip themselves with digital skills and also capability like workflow automation, right? Also ICT deployment, such as IoT deployment and so forth. Yes. So that's short term, right? For mid-term, we are looking tighter data integration, right? With all the data that we collected from automation, right, to facilitate empower the facility management community. I think in the long term, the roadmap and vision that we probably use a lot of multifunctional robots and then also 3D printed parts for maintaining the buildings, right? So I see that's our future in this industry.
It's great that government and industry got together to create this roadmap at a national level. So it's kind of good. The work's cut out for you, but also means that work's cut out for you.
Yeah, right.
Exciting times for you too. Seonghwa, this is clearly what you're doing, an ongoing journey for IMDA to engage industry, to digitalize. But can you share any idea on what the future might look like from your perspective?
Yeah, crystal ball.
Crystal ball.
Yeah. Just like others, our work has been cut off for us for the next couple of years. We'll be very busy. As you know, it's a long journey. And today, FujiFilm, for example, is one of out of the 40,000 businesses that's on the network today. And we're on target to get to maybe about 200,000 active businesses on the network so that they all can transact, send and receive e-invoices. So that is going very well. And we just hope that a lot of enterprises, while they go about automating, they are also doing it in a way that is in tandem with the national rail that we create, so that they won't kind of fall out of that scope. Right? So while we are doing that, we are also building on the roadmap to introduce other documents. So in fact, actually e-invoicing comes under an umbrella of e-documentation. For lack of a better term, we use e-documentation. And that covers the other documents like ordering, catalogs, so that we can go upstream of the procure to pay process, so that the other documents can also be exchanged between businesses. And that will encourage more automation, of course. Yeah. So while this is all going on, we are also, in a way, innovating on top of that and looking forward to actually take advantage of the data flow to bring about even financing services. So today there is a desire to try to use this infrastructure that we have to be able to return back working capital to especially SMEs, so that they can get paid even faster than the due date for their invoices. So these are new exciting areas they are looking into, innovating at even a national level.
That's fascinating. I like the idea you talk about, making it real by getting the funds back to SMEs so they got the working capital. I mean, that's a huge demand, I'm sure, that's driving a lot of this stuff. Very, very admirable. Good luck with that, and I look forward to seeing the results. So, Ching Hong, in kind of wrapping up here, can we get any wise words from Fujifilm about what your view on what the future is going to hold? Well,
This is my view. I would say it's our perspective. The world is getting very complex. Our business world is highly complex today. We are being pressured with turnaround time, pressured with cost, pressured with multiple technology that we are trying to put our hands around. We are pressured with sustainability, ESG, talent crunch. It's always a challenge for us. I think amidst all this, we are what we call looking into innovation of helping the SMBs, the small medium enterprise in the marketplace. Many of them say, I want to do e-commerce, I want to do this tech, how to do it. So we are now what we call a virtual IT manager to help them in their desktop support, or virtual IT to help them, let's say if it's a security issue, or server issue, or cloud. But when they want to embark on a IT strategy, as SMB, it is very challenging. So we are launching what we call the virtual CIO, where we can then share with these SMBs. So they tell us what their business strategy is, then we give advice on what they can look into, who they can partner with, and then what are the areas that we can help them. If we can't help them, we bring partners in as well. So the idea for this is that in SMB, the business owners can focus on their growth, their business growth, focus on their customers. And we will help them to focus on technology, on document, on data. And this is something that we are innovating and bringing from inside out to our SMB owners in the marketplace. And that is also in line with what the government policy is to help the local enterprise grow and focus on business and growing amidst all this COVID-19 pandemic.
That's going to be very exciting. I think, if you think about the essence of automation in the first place was to help people become more productive by removing the repetitive and mundane tasks. But these days, IT, whilst it may not be repetitive and mundane, is a level setter. Everybody needs some form of technology. So being able to provide access to those that don't have the resourcing is definitely in the same vein as we're talking about today. So we've had a fascinating discussion around how document automation leads to data analytics, leads to creating opportunities to innovate, how the flow of information in and out of organizations can help businesses in their financial planning. So I'd like to say thank you very much to the panel. Really appreciated talking with you. And we hope this has been a great use of your time. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, panelists, for sharing your knowledge and expertise in this session. And thank you everyone for attending today's FujiFilm Innovation Forum, Accelerating Innovation Through Automation. Before you leave, do remember to take a few minutes to share your feedback with us. If you would like to find out more about Fujifilm Business Innovation Solutions capabilities, you can watch our solution demo showcase videos, accessible on demand on the IDC Arena platform. Thank you once again for joining us today, and have a great day ahead.